We've had breakouts this morning. We're going to have another case discussed here after lunch. It's interesting. There was a couple things that were asked in your group, Vincent, that I said somebody remind me to talk about when I got here. What was it?
We're talking about cash flow.
No, okay. Okay, well, first of all, when I say unencumbered free cash flow, the word unencumbered means unlevered. In other words, not pledged for something else. Because you can have cash flow, but it's pledged. So even though, you might consider it free cash flow. So that means no loan agreement, no covenant within a loan agreement can touch the cash flow. Unlevered, no leverage against it. And I said at that meeting that right now the kids, you are bringing deals forward that are being financed at between 1.1 and roughly 1.5 times free cash flow, meaning that they're making the debts, they're loaning you $1 million and you have free cash flow between 1.1 million and 1.5 million. A real shitty deal is they'll loan you $1 million against 2 million free cash flow. But that's a deal that's got a lot of hair on it, as they say, or it's got a lot of whiskers. It's all fucked up. And if you have a deal with like the federal government as a guarantor of the contract, you can get deals where the bank will loan you dollar for dollar. And a couple of times on my third government contract, not my first one, not my second one, but my third government contract many, many years ago, the bank allowed it to be levered 1 for 1. So the first two $20 million contracts, we leveraged it up maybe 1.1, 1.2. But the third one, because they felt comfortable that I performed on two $20 million contracts, and the third one was $10 million, so they allowed it a 1 for 1. That doesn't happen very often, yeah.
Do you know anyone that's doing a roll-up in cybersecurity in the US?
Yeah.
At the moment?
Absolutely I do. It's one of my kids. Yeah. And he's not he's the one that's farthest down the road. I've got a couple others that are just beginning. But if Dennis, you're listening to this, he's got the biggest advantage because he's out of cybersecurity. I mean, his background is cybersecurity.
So what would they be purchasing though? These businesses are probably cash flow. There's no assets attached.
No. I mean, you're either existing contracts or future contracts.
And the government contracts the best money.
Best money. But now, as I think Woot said earlier, the big companies are crazy about cybersecurity now.
Right.
But I mean, for the cybersecurity guys, this shit with Putin, it can't get any better. I bet you, if you know anybody in cybersecurity, and if you're not knocking on fucking doors, you have shit for brains. I would be wearing out shoe leather, calling every motherfucking Ivy from A to Z. Every fucking company on the planet I'd be calling on. And I wouldn't be sending them emails like you cunts. I'd be knocking on their motherfucking door and staying in the lobby till somebody saw me. I mean, this couldn't be better for cybersecurity. The only thing that's going to be better, and I hope it's not you, like I said, war. And then, if we go to war, assholes, now listen carefully, cunts. Tires, carburetors, wheels, trucks, tanks, airplanes, petroleum, you name it. Anything that's got anything to do with warfare is going to go right through the motherfucking ceiling, to the stratosphere, to Mars. If the Iranians hit one of our ships with one of those fucking rockets, we're lucky they're so fucking stupid they can't hit them. They tried twice now. Came pretty close the second time, and we had to use actually the anti-bullshit to knock them out of the air. Well, God forbid if they hit one of the fucking destroyers. where Yemen, they're firing from Yemen, where Yemen used to be. They're going to say that now. Yemen used to be here, but it's now a big crater. It's gone. Where Yemen used to be. Sana'a, which is the capital, unless they change it. Sana'a used to be right about here. Right about here. But it's gone now. They've gone to their 32 sluts in the sky. So if war breaks out, and any kind of, and it doesn't have to be a nuke dropped on, if war breaks out, all the defense contractors are, they're running around with erections. And as if you remember the 80s, President Reagan was all about defense contracting. And by the way, in my judgment, as I told some of the group, Musk says, well, I think they misquoted him. Some people say he says he's going to die on Mars. Die on Mars. What he said was he's going to die on his way to Mars. Because it's a 50 or 60 or 80 year trip to Mars. And Musk is about 45 years old, more or less. He's going to die on his way to Mars. And why is he going to die on his way to Mars? Because in my humble opinion, and there's nothing humble about my opinion, is he knows it's over for the Earth. Over. O-V-E-R. Can't even spell it.
Because the world's fucked up.
Yeah, and New Zealand is one of the safest places because nobody gives a shit there. Everybody takes a shit down there.
It's conservative, but yeah, it's fucked up. It's
because it's over. It's over. He's going to die on his way to Mars. But it's going to, I'm hoping that at least my grandchildren, it happens after they're gone. But, if you live long enough, all kind of shit happens. And I can honestly say that. And I remember writing the article in the Netherlands, Holland is not heaven. In 1996, I believe it was. How do you say that in Dutch? Holland is not heaven.
Nederland is niet in de hemel.
Okay. And Heineken jumped up at the Damsel Club. Mr. Peña, is it possible that we can have another subject matter for your talk? Very polite guy. And so, because I was at the Damsel Club, going to make a speech about Holland was not heaven. And, of course, Holland changed dramatically in 20 years from 1996. And, okay. Cybersecurity, if they hit, you check cybersecurity stocks on the stock market. And God forbid they hit one of the ships. Because I don't want to see any loss. But if they do, and you look at the fucking stock prices, and that doesn't mean to short the stock if we don't have a war. They suck because cybersecurity is hot anyway. All this shit with WikiLeaks. Oh God, I wish fuck. Makes me crazy. This WikiLeaks thing is a license to steal. No, I don't mean steal, but I mean for cybersecurity. How secure are Clinton's emails if the fucking, whether WikiLeaks is doing it, who's got some of the world-class hackers himself, or Putin's going to do it? What kind of security is that? And that's why cybersecurity is so hot. So it's hot.
Is there any players in the market?
Absolutely there are. There's a gazillion of them. But do they know this? No. Except for my three boys. Okay? And one of them has actually got cybersecurity background. By the luck of the draw, by the luck of the draw, you fell out of a pile of shit, being a Marine, and landed in gold, Dennis. Just another ignorant jarhead. That's not true. Dan's a smart guy, just got an MBA from Babson. I mean, one of the best business schools in the world. So, but anyway, but it makes it a better story when I just call him an ignorant jarhead that fell out of one pile of shit into a bed of flowers. Somebody was going to ask me something.
Yeah, do you think that because all the transactions are wire transactions in the bank?
Cybersecurity.
Cybersecurity. So if that fails, do you think that everybody goes back to cash?
I don't know that, but I'll tell you this. Sally and I were in a deal about 15 years ago with the big banks that were, security was part of the deal. And they were really excited about it or interested in it at the time. But then nothing happened. But I mean, now just imagine, if it is Russia doing this, the leaks. Now, what do you think Russia could do to the Federal Reserve? What do you think Russia could do to the banking system? Come on, wake up. What do you think he could do to Bank of America, the Royal Bank of Scotland? Does Bulgaria have a bank?
One or two.
Yeah, the Bank of Bulgaria.
I wrote them already.
Yeah. I mean, just think of it. If Russia's really doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not convinced they are, but I don't really care if they are or they're not. So, but I mean, the permutations of the cybersecurity and what's happening, and if they're really doing it, can they affect the real outcome of the election coming up in 20 days? I don't know the answer to that. But, so, guys, I mean, yeah, cybersecurity's hot. No question about that. And then there's various adjunct things to cybersecurity. But I mean, FDR, they say, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, allowed the Japanese to bomb us at Pearl Harbor, and we knew, supposedly, because the economy needed a war to pull us out of the Great Depression, the Great Depression. I'd like to think he didn't do that, because, I mean, many millions of people died. But the evidence, the Japanese are in Washington, D.C., supposedly negotiating a contract. We hear that Pearl Harbor is bombed. They lost, the 7th Fleet lost track of their 9th, 12th, and 34th Fleet. That's pretty tough to do, but anyway, they couldn't find the Japanese 9 navies, spread out over 6,000 miles. We couldn't find them. Who are you shitting? Pearl Harbor, this day will live in infamy. 7 December 1941. We needed the war machine to get going, cranking, to save the country that had been in a depression for 7, 8, 9 years, 12 or 13 years if you want to go back to the 20s. I hate to say it, kids, and I'll leave on this note. War is good for business. And one of the things that's starting to go viral is I made a speech about run towards the gunfire and kill everybody. And all they've got on the internet is kill everybody, kill everybody, kill everybody. And I know it's not it's obviously me. I mean, I haven't said it 25 times in a row. Kill everybody, kill everybody.